All right, YouTube. So it looks like there's 5 reported dead in the Carr Valley fires, and unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. That seems like a pretty high number for wildfires. So um, any number's high. I'm actually pretty sad about this, but I got to look at this objectively still, and still go to the still address the speculation as to the cause of these fires. And it seems like there's a lot of people, especially the ones that live in that area, that think that these are artificial fires caused by direct energy weapons. Um, so while I think that's a very high possibility, I still need to see proof for myself. I mean, I'm not disputing these people's eyewitness account of it. I'm sure they have a better idea of it than I do, but I'm just saying for myself. But I'm very open to the idea, and there's a lot of talk about like Agenda 21, especially here in California, with it being a very populous or populated area. So I want to go ahead and just give a brief introduction to Agenda 21. It's basically a United Nations program for what they call sustained development, which is essentially population control. And among other things, like it's really all about control. So, they pose to be like environmentalists with all the regulations and everything. Essentially, what they do is they cripple smaller businesses, and then so these corporations that are protected by Agenda 21 can flourish. It's hypocrisy at its finest, and it's kind of evil, in my opinion, very evil. But they like guys like Bill Gates and Ted Turner. Very much wrapped up into this thing. They're big proponents of it. They talk about some folks talk about there being a population drop to 500 million within one event, like one massive killing. That's a pretty big number of people. 500 million left on the planet, mind you. So that's quite a few billion wiped out in a single program or whatever. I guess that's their goal. I mean, maybe not through one event, but what I've heard is that they want to get down to 500 million and then eventually get down to 500,000, which is wow. That's population control at its finest, and you can even consider it to be genocide, which I do. But that's essentially what Agenda 21 is. Like it's all about control, and they're not really interested in protecting the environment or saving humanity. It's actually quite the opposite. Because in their mind, the world should be only populated by a certain amount of people, which is 500,000. That's the number that they want to get down to. It's unbelievable. I think what they're trying to say, actually, I want to go ahead and correct myself. I think what they're trying to say is that 500 million over time through Agenda 21, basically like passive aggressive genocide. But 500,000 eventually through the same type of methods, but probably to a more extreme degree, because there's probably less people in the world, and it just, I don't know. I feel like if there's less people in the world and there's like mass killings going on, there's probably not really a good way of getting the word out. I don't know. Correct me on my logic if you guys think that's bullshit, but I just think it's interesting. Honestly, I think it is. I would not dispute the fact that Agenda 21 is at play here in California. I would really not. I mean, in this instant, I know it is in general with chemtrails and everything, but and HARC and all the bad things, but still, in this particular case, like let's try and find the proof. Honestly, let's not just speculate. Let's find the proof, and that's the only way we're going to expose these people, honestly. And I'm here in Santa Cruz. Like I've seen plenty of chemtrails and everything, and there's certainly a lot of people here that are hip to the idea that there's these kinds of mischievous programs at play. I've met a lot of people here in Santa Cruz that think that are totally into the idea of chemtrails because they know it's a thing. They've seen the science behind it and the relationship between HARP and chemtrails. Chemtrails, basically being aluminum and barium. I think there was a third element in there, but it being like essentially increasing the conductivity of the ionosphere. I guess, or the atmosphere beneath it. So when they shoot the microwave particles up at the ionosphere, it's more conductive, I guess. That was David Icke's explanation of it, at least. So I tend to be very like, I know David Icke is kind of like a, the word is that he's a BBC actor and that he's kind of a misinformation artist. So all of what I'm saying could be completely false, and it could be because I was gullible enough to listen to David Icke. I don't know. This is the point, though. We have to get proof. We have to make drone videos like we did last year. That seems very suspicious, with that McDonald's basically being the only thing in the area that got burnt down. And then you look at the suburban area. The suburban area happens to get hit harder than the commercial area. I mean, it's... Yeah, I would not doubt it in the slightest that that's what happened last year with the wildfires. And it could be the same thing here, unfortunately. And what if it was the same thing with the hurricanes, honestly? Last year, people on the internet talk about that too. And just because Trump is president does not mean that he's responsible for it. It's the deep state. It's essentially the powers that he's trying to fight, that we're all trying to fight by getting the word out. And he says it. He says it every once in a while in his tweets. He says, I'm trying to get the truth out. I'm trying to get the truth out. I mean, and you can tell that he's actively trying to do that. He might cut some bad deals. Like he sold a bunch of weapons to the Saudis. That was bad. But anyways, I don't think people... I wouldn't blame Trump for the hurricanes or the wildfires. I think that's... if it is foul play, it's definitely the deep state and their evil technology. I mean, it's evil. Why would you create this shit if you're not trying to kill people, honestly? And that's what they're into. They're psychopaths, Yeah, but yeah, please. Sorry, there's something weird on my arm. Please leave your comments in the comment section, because I think it's really important that we discuss this. You folks that watch my videos, if you guys make videos, I will watch your videos if you comment and leave. Leave criticism, whatever. Leave constructive criticism, feedback, or whatever. So yeah, that was a pretty good take. I'm going to end on that. See you guys later.